Where did we go wrong? We have 20-year-olds, political TikTokers, trying to debate and telling an older 30, 40 plus year old guy, a parent, telling him how to be a parent and then trying to dox him.
If I was dumb enough to send my kid in, it's no different than a baby commercial for diapers.
Can you answer my question? Do you think that you have the right to consent to 65-year-old men looking at your son while he's naked?
I wouldn't allow it.
Do you think
That's
that
my
you have the
responsibility as a
right?
father.
Do you think that you have the right to allow it? Do you think if you did allow it, that you would be violating the consent of your child?
They have no choice in the matter whatsoever. It's my decision as the parent. And I wouldn't put my kid in that situation. That's why I think pageants are weird in the first place. I would never.
Amen. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I think that you don't deserve to have any custodial rights over your child.
Wait, what? Listen, I get where he's coming from. He's being extreme. He is leading with emotion, and that's the main problem. But he's telling another guy, probably much older and way more experienced to be a parent than him, that he doesn't have the rights to his child and stuff. Now listen, I agree. I get it. Sadly, this where you see it as moral or not, when you're a kid, especially a little toddler or just, a little youngster, a little kid, like not even a teenager, 99% of the time, well, 100% of the time, a lot of the times, as you are younger, you don't really, consent, it doesn't really exist for you. Like, the parents do everything for you. I'll touch upon this a little bit more later. Let's just hear what he has to say more.
So, for those watching, their handle is goatman91096. It's gonna be their handle. If there happens to be anybody in here that's good at has facial recognition software,
you can find me. It's fine. Nothing I said was wrong.
Okay,
I just said that the kid doesn't get to make the decision.
What's your name?
I would never put them in that situation.
Okay, what's your name?
And why are you trying to dox people, dude? That's weird.
Because I want to find who you are so I could call CPS and have them take your child away from you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would like to try to do that.
Yes, I would. So
they would never even do it. That's the best part.
Okay. What's
Because
your name?
I would take the part, and I have a witness sitting here who's heard me say I would never put my child in that situation.
Okay. So what's your name?
So don't worry. Move the goalpost too, by the way.
So you said that you think that parents have every right to exploit and traffic their children. So
no, that's not what I said.
So I'm not going to debate it with you. That is what you said.
Listen, Dean, you're about to ruin your whole freaking life. What the frick are you doing, my guy? I can't. You're leading with your emotions, okay? When you're trying to debate someone, it can be on any topic, but when it's especially on topics as sensitive as this, children, parents, family, friends, safety of human beings and all this stuff, you gotta chill out. I get it, you're 20-year-old. Listen, I'm 23. I'm not the most mature person either. I'm not saying that he's dumb or something. In this situation, he is very dumb. But from what I've seen, even though I don't agree with a lot of his stuff, he's a left-leaning political streamer, and I don't really get into politics. I don't give a freak about that stuff as much. I don't want to get into politics on my channel. But this guy knows how to debate. He knows how to talk. You might disagree or not with this guy. A lot of the times, people enter into debates thinking they have the best right intentions, and I think he does. I do believe that he has right intentions because he wants this kid and every other kid to, have a normal, safe life. But when it comes to, kids, especially little kids like toddlers and stuff, kids in the beginning of elementary school, I mean, consent doesn't really exist. Like, there was barely any stuff that I had a say in my life when I was like 7 years old. Like, not even consent of what I'm supposed to eat. Like, if I had to choose what I eat, I would eat candy every single freaking day. But no, I had to eat lean meats. I had to eat vegetables. I had to eat fruits as snacks instead of having Snickers every single freaking day and Nutella for breakfast. Trust me, if my parents gave me, you consent to anything, your life, your choice, all this stuff, I would just eat Nutella every single day, not go to school, play video games, not go to basketball practice and karate practice. I used to train karate first and then basketball. I would just be at home watching cartoons, eating sugar, and I don't know if I would be alive at 23 years old right now if I continued that way. Even though he thought he had the right intentions, when you're living with your emotions, you end up saying much worse stuff. Even me hearing what he questions, it's always these freaking political people, man. Like, they always ask the craziest freaking questions. Like, would you consent for your child if a 65-year-old guy wanted to see him naked and you wanted to, and would you consent? What is that question, man? And I get the guy being all like, wait, what the fuck? Why is this guy putting me in this deep of a hole? Like, obviously, I wouldn't do that stuff, but yeah, I give the consent for my child. That's it. Done. And now he's gonna call a PCOS on him, and now he's gonna dox him and try to, reveal to the whole internet where he lives. TikTok and Kick and YouTube and all these platforms, sadly, like what happened with SS Sniper Wolf, sadly, they don't really ban, and I'm really against banning. But you know what I'm against more than banning? Doxing people. Trying to take their kids away because you're a immature 20-year-old political TikToker, everything, political TikToker, 20-year-old, and you're trying to dox someone and take away their freaking kid. That's something I hate way more than YouTubers and streamers and TikTokers not getting banned.
So I just putting this out there for anybody. Feel free to take his profile picture. Maybe you could go on tiktok.com/his handle. You could save his profile picture, run it through some reverse image search. Maybe it will link back to a Facebook or something where you could find his name. And if you do find said information, that's public, by the way.
You're more than welcome to.
Feel free to take that information and report it to CPS. Feel free to take that information and report it to the law authorities in his area. Feel free to take that information and report it to maybe his local CPS, etc. Child Protective Care, Child Protective Services. Feel free to do that. I'll go ahead and leave him on the live for around another 20 or 30 seconds here before we kick him, just so you guys, anybody that's interested in trying to do this, can grab his profile picture.
Deanless. You're ruining your freaking life, okay? Well, I've seen so many political TikTokers, streamers, and YouTubers going so extreme, leading with their emotions, and like Hassan Abi, for example, we all know what Hassan has done, and he said all the I support terrorists and all this dumbass shit. And trust me, you don't want to end up in that kind of a situation. You don't. But if you're saying all this stuff at the age of 20, if you continue to do all this stuff, if you continue to get gratification from TikTok and other social media platforms and you keep growing, which I've got nothing against that stuff, but if you keep growing and people keep supporting you with this kind of rhetoric without people calling out on you and without people, maybe causing you some, trouble and, maybe you're getting a few hate messages of, hey, you should, actually think about stuff and not try and cause damage to families because your irrational mind is going crazy. I hope this guy stays safe. I hope this guy doesn't get doxxed. I've got nothing against police coming to his doorstep and, trying to investigate the whole situation and seeing if, his child and him are okay and if he is a good parent and if his child is safe. I've got nothing against that stuff. But from what we got from this small TikTok, it was just Dean going crazy emotional over basically nothing. And listen, I get it. I agree to a certain degree. Don't go freaking crazy, okay? I'm not saying I don't agree with him doxing and calling Child Protective Services on the guy. I'm saying that I agree with a lot of the consensual stuff which it's kind of a gray area. Well, it's not. If you're a little kid, no consent for you. Parents have total control over you. My cousin recently had a child 6 months ago, and his wife posts so many freaking pictures on Facebook, and they're 28 or 29. They still use Facebook. I feel sad for that child. I'm kidding. But she posts pictures, and she's not the only one. A lot of women do this, old or young. They post pictures of their children as freaking babies or just toddlers, little kids, on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube as well. Listen, guys, if I were a parent one day and I have full consent over my child, number one, this is very, very important for my child's safety. I would never, ever upload videos, pictures, even his voice or her voice of my child online. Those social media freaking platforms are filled to the brim with pedophiles. Barely do any parents, especially young or old parents, stop and think, maybe I shouldn't be uploading my pictures and videos of my kid as a little baby or just a toddler on the freaking internet. I don't care if your kid is 4 or 14, just don't freaking upload. You can keep those pictures. Wait till they grow up, till they're 18 plus. Then you can upload the pictures when they were little kids and babies. They'll probably hate you for it because you're embarrassed them, but at least they're not little kids anymore, right? But most people aren't really educated on internet safety and what kind of dumbass, crazy ass pedos there are online. And I checked his TikTok account. He's still there. He's still posting. He's still, saying his liberal, left-leaning political beliefs, which is fine. Freedom of speech. But you don't have the right of freedom of speech or the right of consenting for yourself when you're a certain age, because you don't really understand the world, and it's a moral gray area. But sometimes something being morally gray and being controlled by someone that really cares about you and loves you, like a parent, is kind of safer. No, my freaking dog or cat doesn't have any freaking consent of most stuff they do. You know why? Because they live in the human world. If I just let him go, a car might... Yeah, that's about it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. And don't do any doxing. And don't go crazy over politics and stuff. And be more open-minded. And try to not be as emotional when you try to debate someone, even if you have the best intentions possible. Because you just might come up sounding like the craziest guy with the worst intentions possible. Have a nice day.